My mom wants me to marry my creepy stepbrother and have his child. She now harasses me at work and lies about the inheritance. I never imagined my life would turn into something straight out of a twisted soap opera, but here I am. My name is Sophia, a 28-year-old marketing executive living in Seattle. It all began 2 years ago when my mom, a fiery woman with a knack for drama, married Richard, a wealthy but eerily charming businessman from New York. Along with Richard came his son, Evan, the embodiment of every red flag you could think of. Evan wasn't just your run-of-the-mill creepy. He had this unsettling way of staring at people, as if he were peeling away their layers to find their vulnerabilities. The first time we met, he greeted me with a lingering hug that made my skin crawl, but I wrote it off as a bad first impression. After all, our parents were newly married and I didn't want to rock the boat. Little did I know, that boat was already sinking. Fast forward to 6 months ago. My mom began dropping hints about how family unity was the key to happiness. At first, I thought she meant we should spend more time together. Then, one evening, she casually mentioned how it wouldn't be so bad if Evan and I ended up together. I laughed, thinking it was a poorly timed joke, but her expression told me she wasn't kidding. "Mom, that's disgusting. He's my stepbrother," I protested. She waved me off with a dismissive smile. "Oh, come on, Sophia, you're not blood. And think about the inheritance. Richard's estate is massive, and if you two were to solidify the family, you'd be set for life." I was horrified. My mom, the woman who had raised me to value independence and integrity, was now trying to sell me off like some medieval bargaining chip. I thought that was the end of it, but she wasn't done. Evan, emboldened by my mom's warped idea, started showing up uninvited to my apartment. He'd bring flowers, cook me dinner, and even suggest we watch a movie together, which inevitably turned into him trying to sit way too close. I made it clear I wasn't interested, but he didn't take the hint. Instead, he started showing up at my workplace. At first, it was under the guise of dropping off lunch or checking in, but it quickly escalated. He'd loiter around my office, making my coworkers uncomfortable. One day, he cornered me in the break room and said, "You'll see, Sophia, we're meant to be." Your mom agrees. I was livid. I confronted my mom that evening, demanding she put an end to Evan's antics. Her response? She accused me of being ungrateful. "Do you know how hard I've worked to secure our future?" she spat. "Richard's wealth could change everything for us. Stop being so selfish and think about the bigger picture." Her words stung, but what followed was even worse. She began calling my boss, claiming I was mentally unstable and needed time off. My boss, thankfully, didn't buy it, but the damage to my reputation was done. Rumors started swirling, and I had to work twice as hard to prove myself. Then came the inheritance bombshell. Richard had recently been hospitalized for a stroke, and my mom took it upon herself to manage his affairs. One evening, I overheard a heated phone call between her and her lawyer. Turns out, Richard's will stipulated that a significant portion of his estate would go to any offspring from the union of Sophia and Evan. I felt sick. My mom wasn't just trying to set me up with Evan for convenience, she was actively scheming to secure her financial future. I confronted her, but she denied everything, accusing me of eavesdropping and blowing things out of proportion. That's when I decided enough was enough. I contacted a family lawyer to understand my rights and started documenting every interaction with Evan and my mom. I also confided in Richard, who, despite his condition, was shocked and furious at what was happening. He promised to revise his will, ensuring my mom and Evan couldn't manipulate it further. But my mom didn't back down. She began spreading lies to our extended family, painting me as the villain who was tearing the family apart. I lost count of the number of awkward phone calls and accusatory texts I received. Still, I stood my ground. The final straw came when Evan showed up at my workplace with an engagement ring. He got down on one knee in front of my entire office, proclaiming his love. The room fell silent as I stared at him in disbelief. "Evan, get up," I hissed. "This is not happening." He looked genuinely hurt, but eventually stood up, muttering something about how I was making a mistake. I took a deep breath, turned to my coworkers, and said, "I'm sorry for this disruption. Let's get back to work." That evening, I filed a restraining order against Evan and moved into a friend's apartment for safety. My mom's calls and messages intensified, but I blocked her on every platform. I've since cut off all contact with her and Evan, focusing on rebuilding my life without their toxic influence. As for Richard, he's made a remarkable recovery and is working with his lawyers to ensure his estate is protected. He apologized profusely for bringing such chaos into my life and even offered to help cover my legal fees. While our relationship is complicated, I'm grateful for his support. Looking back, I'm still shocked at how far my mom was willing to go for money and power. But I've learned an important lesson. Family isn't about blood or legal ties. It's about mutual respect and love. And sometimes, walking away is the best thing you can do for your own sanity.